Yeah. Yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. We got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight, and I think this show will be beneficial to everyone. What we're going to be discussing tonight is how to survive inflation. How to survive inflation. If you didn't notice, the Federal Reserve met on this past Tuesday, and they discussed Tuesday or Wednesday. Y'all still out there for, but they discussed, that meetings they have out through the year in regards to if they were going to raise the rates or lower the rates and everything. They chose to keep the rates the same,
okay,
5.25 to 5.5 range.
Okay,
doing it, but we're still in the state of inflation. We know by definition, inflation is the rate increase in prices over a given period in time. So unless you've been living under a rock, everything has been what high. Especially when you put it in comparison to previous years. So what I want to have a conversation with everybody about, because again, just like we had to make adjustments and get used to everything that was going on with COVID, and we have a whole new normal. That's the same thing we'll deal when we deal with inflation. So I want to just give some strategies that I think can impact everybody from a positive perspective in regards to how to survive during inflation. And before I get to start, before I remember, this is the Dollar Hour, and I'm Deonte Burden, aka Mr. Short Dollar himself. The Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. I want to give an early shout out or a quick shout out to my awesome producer, DJ Lamb.
What's going on, brothers? Thursday.
Absolutely, best day of the week.
Best day of the week. That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right. What's been up with you? How's your weekend?
Everything good, man.
Okay.
And I gotta say, before we get started too far, happy early Father's Day to all you dads.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day. Early Father's Day to our dads.
So, we hardly get any recognition. Any kind of.
We still gotta work. Nobody come take us to dinner. The whole family gonna take us to dinner. We get socks and holy underwear.
I hope my kids listen. I got a call today. Hey, Daddy, gonna be mad if I don't make it.
See how they treat us. They treat us so bad. But Mama, they ain't even gotta ask. They there.
Figure it out.
Right.
But it's all G. It's all G. And I love my kids, man. But early shout out to all the happy Father's Day to all the dad side there. Also, I want to say what's up to my other producers, Slick 316. What's up, Rick? Man, what is something I want to remember? Oh, big congratulations to my youngest son, Will B. He just qualified for the district USA track field. AAU amateur. AAU.
Okay.
District. For the shot put in discus.
Oh, okay.
Other shout out my other son, PJ. That's Deonte Burden Jr. He got pinned for the E5 sergeant this past weekend.
What? He gonna tell people what to do.
We still can't lock them down here like that. Yeah, big shout out to both of them, man. But going back to when we're having a nice show again, we're talking about how to survive inflation. I did a live feed last night in regards to how, it was late, man. Y'all forgive me, your brother worked hard, but I did a live feed last night in regards to how does the Fed rate affect you? Because what happens a lot of times, people, I hate to use the term intention ignorance. People try to not be informed a lot of times, because what we know is once you become informed, you become accountable.
Right.
And now because what we don't want a lot of times, people don't want someone to take advantage of them knowingly. Right. But they won't try to get informed to find out what is the Fed rate, what exactly does the Federal Reserve Chairman do? Who is wrong?
Right.
How does that affect me? From federal perspective, from state perspective, locally. People just, to me, don't try to be informed. But once you know, you might move a little different. And moving different may be uncomfortable, something you don't like. Right. But what I want to have a conversation, because right now you're in a situation where you can't avoid it. Gas high, groceries high, rent high, mortgage high, everything high. And you might go down to one of them little brothels and the ladies high.
They high. They got inflation rates.
Yes, OnlyFans high.
Right. Oh, right.
So, but in all seriousness, we want to I want to have that conversation with everyone in regards to that. Just get some strategies and stuff I think that you can employ. Look at TikTok cutting up already. Give you some strategies I think you can employ to help you from a teacher standpoint in regards to how to continue to be able to navigate during the inflation.
Okay.
You know.
Do you think that I'm gonna let you finish. I was gonna ask you, do you think, we say the prices are high because of inflation, but I never really see prices go down after inflation. Do they really go down like everyday prices, or do like when they keep them up there, they like, okay, they willing to pay this, let's just keep this up here and move on. Then when the inflation come back in, they double that.
That's a good question. It depends on the item. It was a good interview with Jerome Powell, who's the Federal Reserve Chairman. He had an interview a couple months ago, and he was very adamant he didn't believe housing prices were going to go down. There are some things that are going to go down. So we know theoretically, just so people understand, the whole point of the Federal Reserve, they're a regulatory agency as far as in the country, right? And so theoretically, the whole point of increasing rates, the Fed rate, which is, actually a piece of the prime rate, where lenders will put on top, they're maybe 1 or 2% on top of that 5%, for your cost of borrowing, or even just a bank may have if you have a saved account added interest, right? The issue comes up, the reason why the rate is increased, because if the rate is increased, it increases the amount that you have to get for a loan, your mortgage, credit cards, all that goes up because the Fed rate is increased, right? Okay. Theoretically, what you would think by human nature, if the cost of borrowing has increased, people will be reluctant to spend.
Okay.
That's the whole thought process here.
Right.
So if people are reluctant to spend, that means you have a price of $10. If people want to buy it, maybe they'll buy it at $3. So prices drop, people go buy it. Okay, and then after a while, a certain periods of doing that, then they will decrease the rates.
Okay. Right.
So that's the theory about it. The issue has been coming on its way. The rate has went up, prices up, and people still doing what?
Buying. Right.
So at the end of the day, they're like, listen, it's not working. That's why the cost has not went down. And no one knows when it's going to happen. Right. Because it's a funky period. Why? Because we do know that jobs are kind of, really, companies not really increasing their pay. Rent is going up. Everything is going up. There has been no kind of slow tick. Now, there has been some slowdown in some purchases. Businesses are saying, hey, businesses starting to slow down. Remember, guys, just if you don't know, from an economic standpoint, I'm a finance guy, so this is kind of my world. From an economic standpoint, things that are implemented now, we talking about June 13th, 2024. It's a ripple. So you may not necessarily feel the effect of it until maybe September, October. That makes sense.
Right.
So those kind of things. So we look at rates changing, oil prices and stuff. It's never an immediate impact. It's a ripple for a couple months down the road when that stuff will hit. That's why they space out when they start having those meetings with doing stuff, because they understand, like, listen, we're gonna make a decision. We're gonna kind of see, get a couple months of data, and then we'll see what kind of impact it has.
You were saying about prices, had ripple effect. A lot of people say, well, the gas prices went up right away. When the oil went up, the gas prices go up. When the price of oil goes down, the gas prices don't go down as quickly as they go up. You get what I'm saying? Like, so people try to measure, like, why don't the gas prices go down as quickly as it goes up when you buy? And I know why, but I rather you explain it as an economics major and CPA.
Well, I think what happens, to be totally honest with you, is even when you see the oil prices go up and down, it's still not an immediate effect on the gas prices. The gas prices going up still may be off something that was decided maybe a couple of weeks prior. Okay. And it's just coincidentally that it might have dropped and it may not have done that. That's why I always look at it. We're doing it. Depending on sometimes where actually they're pulling the reserves from. Especially if it's coming from Saudi, which they have if you guys don't know, they're having a conversation now. Looking at, I think U.S. has been with them for a couple decades, agreement in regards to just how they've been doing it. That talks about not even using the U.S. dollar.
Using China and Britain.
And renegotiating those conversations, which is probably, just having foresight, even though you may not like politicians and things like that. That's one of the main reasons, if you think about it, why there's been a push in the U.S. to start going electric in the next couple of years. So we don't be in a situation.
But people don't understand that.
Yeah, well, that's why, again, I said people need to be informed. Because what we found out this time last year, how a chip could shut this whole damn thing down.
Right.
When we was just so dependent. That was a year ago, right? About a year ago.
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
2 years ago,
okay,
right? Like at 2022.
2020, okay, but you see how a chip shortage can shut this whole damn thing down and put everything behind. So I think a lot of times when we start looking at, just those whole advances, move away from fossil fuels or even being dependent on other nations, people see that because conversations are had years in advance for leadership. Everything has to be strategic.
Right.
That's why I think sometimes once you know how things are, you empower yourself. But also, like I said again, once you know, you gotta be accountable for it too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you know better, you're supposed to do better.
Right.
But when you don't know, and that can be intentional or not, you can play dumb, right? So that's one of the things I always look at. But that, with the U.S. after you already had those conversations with Saudi, with renegotiating those things, all this stuff come into play. And like I said, we start talking about inflation, and we just get a little one-on-one in regards to what the Fed does from a regulatory standpoint with rates and stuff like that. That's the kind of thing that's not been changing. So they're like, listen, they see some positives, whatever, because rent is went the hell up.
It's not going to go down.
Now, and
house prices.
Well, even when he was adamant, he didn't see housing prices really going down. But we do know
that's more supply demand type deal right there.
Well, and that goes back to when people continue to buy them. It's like, damn, if you guys are still buying these $300,000-$400,000 houses at 6%, like common sense standpoint, because somebody wants somewhere to stay, wouldn't it be more beneficial instead of me incurring a $3,500 note where I can just wait till the rate go down and get it at $2,000,
right?
Or maybe some instances maybe $1,900. But if people want it, they're gonna get it.
Right. I mean, it's a guy who does a show out here who just bought a house. Who does a show here. He just bought a house and he had to move all the way out to almost Birmingham to afford a house. And it still was $300. He's still in the country for $300. So I mean, I'm like, okay, but I don't think people realize that the fact that, like you said, with Saudi Arabia renegotiating, they're trying to partner up with China and they were doing with China and Russia at one time. But I don't think that people realize that if we have inflation now, but if that dollar is devalued as much as they're trying to devalue it, we're gonna have some issues. We're gonna have some issues because because a lot of people use the dollar as their currency, and people don't realize that the dollar is used as currency. And once the dollar is devalued to a point to where even just 25 or 35 cents on the dollar is taken away, the price of everything gonna go up because it's gonna cost more to purchase it.
Yeah, but you know what, Lab, and I agree with that. But I do say this: even if the value of the dollar go down, I think it's gonna have a global impact. Everything else is gonna go down too. So I do think it's gonna be, you're gonna have them influxes and stuff like that. But I do think that it's just not going to affect us. I think it's also going to be affecting the people that decide to move away from that. The reason why I say that is because I think it's less about the value of the dollar, it's more about the power that people can control certain things. But that's why I say, I was telling the guys the other day, that's why that whole big push for electronic vehicles, the EV, was being set up. Like, look, man, we need to do more building these grids, all the stuff like that, because we can't be in that kind of situation over the next couple of years where we can be stuck.
Right.
That can be grappling. That's why sometimes you may be looking at something where you see some of the things going in the Middle East. You say, well, hey, why are they supporting this? Why are they supporting it? Sometimes it ain't about being fair or who you like.
Right.
Sometimes it's just really about, hey, man, look,
economics.
We can't be crippled.
Right.
But sometimes that's above people's pay grade.
I mean, if you really nowadays, like what we say all the time since we started this podcast, the world is flat. You can get the information if you really want to know it.
Well, it's fingertips.
Right.
Google University, YouTube
Right.
University. You find a lot of things out. And again, the people that actually just want to spend the time to deal with it, that's the thing about it. Because like I said, like what? Once you know, you know.
You know, right.
And now I can sit here and hold you at a different standard because you've been told and informed what's going on.
Right.
But like people say, man, we need to get Biden in, put Trump back in. You know, we can make it money. And they really don't understand. Was that something that Trump was doing, or that from policy from Barack Obama?
Or was that, or the point of what they're talking about is something that would have had to been done anyway, no matter who was in office, because the economy was starting to fail. And to be honest with you, that's how you know people are not informed. He didn't pass that. Congress had to pass that and approve that. That's not just, he can't just reach into the treasury and say, hey, give everybody a check. That don't happen like that.
But not only, but you got to sign it. But
Right.
I say this, I mean, you know, to the point you just said, Congress had to create it.
Right.
You got to get some minds together to see and say how we're gonna do these certain things. But people don't know. People don't know. And to that point, but that's the game that people have always been uninformed.
Right.
And you know that's why when we have these elections, it's great to have democracy. I don't want to get off track with everything, but that's great to have a democracy. But a lot of times it's just popularity.
And that, I don't think talking about politics gets off the topic, because to be honest with you, this is all encompassing thing. Inflation rate, the Fed rate, inflation, the amount you pay for stuff because of inflation, it's all political. It all has to do with politics. A lot of it has a lot to do with certain things, and politics plays a big role in a lot of it.
Yeah. You know what, Lab? I'm gonna say this, man, and what always sticks with me was when the past couple elections, when you ask people, it's amazing when I see some of, you know, I know the videos that put out what people see is what they see. The past couple, you know, 2 terms, right, presidential terms, and they go out in the crowd, interview people, and I see especially like the young brothers and sisters like, yeah, we gotta get Trump in, and I don't want to get into who you should go for, who you shouldn't go for. I don't want to get off track with it. But when I see young people, what's up? I see my son Chris in.
What's going on, Chris?
What's up, Chris Burden? Father's Day coming up, baby.
No underwear, no socks, no ties.
You know, when I see young people with it, you know, hey, we're gonna get Trump in the economy. I really don't think that they understand how things go. The reason why I say that is because I never see that much energy, especially from the local standpoint. People understanding that how the local politics and elections impact you more than from a federal thing.
Right.
And it's cool. Like I said, I love the people. I always say it's one of born rights that you should always have. But I always challenge people, listen, man, find out as much as you can. Don't have to go off what Deonte Burden said or DJ Lamb said, but make sure that you try to get yourself in a position to be informed and find out as much as you can about how things work, right? Basic civics class. I think everybody fell asleep in.
Right.
But people always say when they are older, they didn't teach it in school. They taught a lot of shit in school. You just don't want to
pay attention to it.
That's all it was.
I wanted to get the home ec.
Yeah. and that's real.
Right.
There's so much people, they don't teach this in school. They taught a lot of shit in school.
They did.
Just at that point in time, most time wasn't prepared to receive that information. You know, it was kids getting economics, calculus, trig, financial. It was kids getting it, but at that time, you know, most of that you weren't ready to
doing
get
that. No, you weren't doing it.
I really do believe that, man. And I seen that. Glenn, when I got in college, you know, how just a strong emphasis. Me and a finance degree. You know, most of the people in school with me were Asian Indians. One too many white, one too many black. You know, just mostly Asian Indians, but they walk and calculate.
Right.
And they might have been a deficit from a social standpoint,
right,
you know, as far as communicating.
But they knew them numbers.
But math, they knew it inside out. But that's why I say whatever people put the emphasis on learning, they can have. But again, tonight what we're talking about is how to survive during inflation. Guys, I did give it to you earlier. Remember to call it. No, it's 678-740-9894. Again, the call in number 678-740-9894. Feel free to call in. You were talking about how to survive during inflation. And the first thing I want to give you a couple tips is, number one, you need to make sure you budget wisely. Track your expenses, monitor where your money is going, and identify areas where you can cut back. We always want to make sure we're looking at ways we can cut back. Do you really, at this particular time, you know, money tight, things are high, do you need the Netflix? Do you need the cable? I'm just saying,
right,
do
right.
you need certain things in your life, right? Certain, some of those tack-ons into your bill, like the Cinemax. And, again, I understand if you need it, you need it.
Right.
But we start looking at, okay, money is tight. I only have 10 coming in.
Right.
But it's costing me 13 to live.
Yeah, right.
I got to get to at least 10 to break even. And less than that for me to have some kind of floating room.
And be a little bit comfortable.
Assess what you need. You know what I'm saying? Call those credit card companies. Renegotiate rates. Do everything. You got to prioritize needs over wants. Again, prioritize needs over wants. Focus on essential expenses such as your housing, your food, and your health care. The basic human needs, right? You know you're going to need those. Focus on
That's automatic.
The other stuff, if you can afford to have it, great. If you can't afford to have it, I mean, come on now.
Right.
And I think people need to understand that. Can you wait till Bad Boys come out on DVD on demand,
on streaming? Yeah.
Whatever. I think you can. I just think sometimes
you don't need to pay $20 to go to the movie theater. You can watch it at home when it come out, because it's gonna come out in a month anyway.
Yeah, and again, I ain't telling everybody to move in tent city.
Right.
But I am saying, listen, be realistic about, hey, look, I got too much stuff coming out my pocket that I really don't need. But what I have coming in is what I have coming in. It's basic math for everybody.
Right.
We ain't got to go too deep into this.
Well, let me play the regular guy, the guy you just spoke to about cutting stuff back. The problem that I'm having is I'm already at the bare, but with the prices of food going up, I'm gonna give you a good example. Man, they talked about just getting the food from the store, just ordering a bunch of stuff and stacking up cabinets and stuff. And I said, that's cool. But back before the inflation happened, I'm just throwing out some, 5 packs of chicken probably be about $100. Right now it's at $225. You know what I'm saying? Like $220. You're gonna spend about $225 for, let's just say, 5 packs of chicken.
Inflation.
Right. But you get what I'm saying? The problem that some people may have is not that they have excess or that they could cut back, something they cut back. It's the fact that everything keep going up. And I know we're going to get to this. I'm sorry if I move forward. I didn't read the notes.
No, I got it all covered.
I know. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. I know you already got it covered. That's why I stopped. Like, I know you've been talking about
what we got? We need cable Netflix.
We need cable Netflix. But to be honest with you, she does need it because she's not as mobile as she used to be.
Well, that's why I said we can assess it.
Right.
Again, what I think is not fair for me to go back and tell you what you don't need.
Right.
But at the end of the day, math is math.
And,
again, what is essential to me, because we learned in the pandemic, liquor stores are very essential.
Right.
So again, what we deem
unessential, right?
Exactly. That's a case by case thing. But I just want you to start assessing,
okay,
and get some kind of prioritization going. Now going into Lab's second question goes to my number 2. You got to increase your income. We got to increase our income. If we know we're bringing in 10, and we know it costs us 13 to live,
right?
And we know we only bringing in 10, and that 13 is at the essential point,
right?
Shit, we got to get in 3 more.
Right.
We got to get in 3 more.
Right.
If you see there's a hole in the bottom of the ship,
right,
and you don't have a life raft, we got to fix something out.
Right. So
you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I agree 100%.
And that goes to our number 2. We got to increase our income.
Okay.
All right. And so ask for a raise. Go in there. Look. Only 2 things can happen. Yay or nay. Or maybe 3. A hell nay. So
and don't ask for it if you know you ain't been doing it.
Listen, man. Shit, still ain't for it.
Still ask for it.
Let them tell you no.
Okay.
Because what we do know is companies will actually pay more money to people. Sometimes where they can get, I give you 5, and when I'm paying everybody 3, I give you 5, maybe get rid of somebody.
Okay.
Might put more shit on your plate,
right?
But you might get more money.
You covering that gap.
What do you lose?
Right.
What do you lose? You might get a little dent in your arm, and you feel some type of way. But what do you lose?
Right.
Ask for a raise. If your job performance has been strong, negotiate for higher wages to keep up with inflation. We all know the cost of living that we got in the military, cost of living allowance. Hey, listen, what's that? And ask for it. Don't just sit there and have yourself in a situation where hey, look, things ain't working right. So just go in that office, ask for a raise. Again, we're talking about how to survive during inflation. Feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number 678-740-9894. The second part of what I just said in regards to tips to increase inflation, ask for a raise, get your side hustle going. That lawnmower sitting out there, go to gas station, get a little gas, knock on your neighbor's door. Get rid of something called pride. Get rid of something called pride. I was just talking to Lab before then, like, hey man, listen, I got my whole strategy in regards to this. I said, man, I might have to give me like a little side thing going to kind of get. I don't give a damn.
Right.
See, I know my destination. I know where I'm at. I'm cool where I'm at in life. I ain't got no pride.
Right.
I don't care about, hey, Poochie doing this, Poochie doing that, Poochie working out. I don't care. Poochie know where he living. Poochie know how he living.
Right.
Poochie want to continue to live like that and live better. I'm cool with it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you might get that hot side hustle on. Start paying those turtle shells. Start that OnlyFans page. You think your toes look good? You want to post your toes on Facebook? Get a little change.
You get a little change about you. We had a girl on here who says her side hustle was selling her underwear and socks.
She making money.
She was making money. She said that's how she's a comedian. She said that's how she actually don't have to go to work. She said she don't have to go to work and she can continue to pursue her dream as a comedian because she sells her socks and underwear to men online.
She selling men or a man?
Men. She said men. Men.
How did you ever come up with that? Hey, shout out.
People are strange. And she said people are weird.
They clean.
We ain't gonna get into that right now. I know, Mr. Short. That's the conversation for changing lives.
Oh Lord. The world we live in. What to that point be innovative? We all talk about innovative,
right?
Innovation, thinking outside the box.
Right.
So your dirty bra and drawers ain't thinking outside the box. I don't know what it is.
You'd be surprised what people like. Yeah. But okay, moving on.
But to that point, like when we say get a side hustle, we talk about increasing income. We're in a world where everybody's doing gigs, side hustle, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart. There are tons of opportunities that you can take advantage of, things that you already have in place that you can make money with doing, right? Or remote working and things like that.
The gig economy is I think the problem with that part of what you were saying, the gig economy is getting the right one. Like Uber and DoorDash is great for some people, but it may not be great for others. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to that point, we take great out of the case. We need money.
Right.
We gotta go from 10 to 13.
Okay.
Right?
We fill that gap. We gotta fill the gap.
Exactly. Okay. So you gotta sometimes do what you gotta do from a legal perspective.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, just get that together.
Okay.
Another thing is, guys, increase your income, get some additional skill certification. There's some different things out there that are free out there, acquiring new skills or certification that can lead to high paying opportunities. With doing it. Coding, certain things, maybe doing troubleshooting and stuff like that. There are tons of things that you can go and get just additional skill set to be able to do that can put you in a position to acquire more income. Again, guys, we're trying to survive during inflation.
Okay.
Things are high. What you have coming in is what you have coming in. And we can't just wish upon a star, hope things go down. Listen, you got to survive. So sitting down there complaining and whining and crying ain't going to fix it. You got to go out there and get that money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, again, those three things, ask for a raise, doing a side hustle, and just get some skills, also some things that you can do. You might not necessarily be comfortable all the time with doing it, but those are easy things that you can do that are at your fingertips to go and try to take some kind of initiative to combat inflation.
Right.
Guys, remember to call in 678-740-9894. Again, the call-in number is 678-740-9894. Before I go any further, I do want to remind everybody I just released, early in the month, the June 2024 small business grant video where I think we have 13 different grant opportunities, 9 or 13, but odd number, different grant opportunities. But yesterday, I just introduced a grant opportunity I stumbled across, small business grant for women. The cool thing about this small business grant for women is it's a worldwide grant. Okay. Regardless of the industry, regardless of nationalities, regardless if you're a startup, whatever, go to Mr. Short on YouTube, and that grant, I think the deadline for that grant opportunity is July 31st. So check out that, ladies. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you have a business, prospective business, of course they're gonna ask you a couple questions, regardless of what are you gonna do with these funds. But the money is there. Right. It's there. Go to Mr. Short on YouTube. Check out that small business grant for women and ladies. Go there and take advantage of it. They're waiting on you, okay? Again, we're talking about how to survive during inflation. Any comments? I seen a couple of them come in.
Slick was asking, Lady Love said she surviving pretty well. And Slick was asking her, so the price of food and gas is not bothering you? And she said, no, ma'am.
Slick said, I'm saying my draws.
Yeah. I was trying to skip past that because this ain't changing a lot. This the dollar hour.
What's the platform? What's the platform?
I don't know. You know what? You probably can type in something and it all pop up. Now I'm good at that. I'm good at finding stuff on the internet by the most obscure information. I'll be like, what's the name of that show with the man with the beard and the red tie on and the finance thing going up in there, and it'll pull up 20 things. I'll find you.
There you go. Gap tooth dude.
Right.
But you know what, man? But I always, like I said, I can't do nothing commended. I don't even want to get caught into if I like it or not like
right.
it. Because again, there are too many ways I have to make money. So I want to brought up earlier. The word is at your fingertips. Before you crash and burn, go out there and go make that money.
Right.
You know, and again, from even when you go into a morality standpoint, I ain't tell you go out there and do nothing illegal. There are tons of ways you can make money doing things. It might be like I said, your comfort level or your time level may vary in regards to different opportunities you can take out there. But the world is open to you. You know what I'm saying, man? Hey, man, I always tell people, man, go get it.
Yeah, Layla said, I got what I need. I don't need nothing else. Okay, so she doing what you say. She kind of just living within her means.
There you go. Now, that's a great way to be.
Right.
But to last point,
not saying that you poor, because we know you got it.
No. But you just had a great point. Like,
right.
Let's say we're at a point we're doing 10 and 10. I got 10 coming out, 10 for me to live. And at the end of the day, prices are still what? Increasing.
Right.
So the damn 13, the 10 may go up to 15.
Right.
We did nothing.
Right.
Now we were doing all right. What we got here? 6 Red Bone said OnlyFans. Oh well, let's see. Y'all gonna get that money.
Right.
But thinking about it though, man, is you may not even done anything. You might be doing everything correctly. Not living above your means, you're being frugal, you're being wise about stuff, but the stuff is steady increasing. To your point, they never take it going to the pump, going to the grocery store. No, man.
Right.
And it's steady pushing you back.
Right.
Regardless of, where you at. So at the end of the day, it can be less what you're doing is what's happening around you. Right. What we have is what we have. Because you can easily be comfortable now and be in turmoil a month from now.
Right.
The gas can go up to $6 a gallon.
It has done that, so don't act like you can't.
Exactly. Bacon can go to whatever. And you got to be smart about this. Because again, we're talking about how to survive inflation. And regardless how you look at it, the whole point of inflation, it's nothing that you cause on yourself.
Right.
It's not from bad budgeting. It's not from bad financial decisions.
It's
just you surviving in the matrix, right?
Right.
So that's why I want people to really understand, like, just because you're okay now, don't mean you're gonna be okay tomorrow.
Right.
So that's why I want to have this conversation with people, because again, don't get confused with the future. Okay. They the words you hear, we feel optimistic, we feel good, we like what we see. It doesn't mean it's going away. Right. So we gotta understand that.
And that may be just saying that to prevent panic.
Even if it's prevent panic, or it can just be, brutal honesty, but they're optimistic and what they like is not what I like or what you like. Right. So we got to kind of keep that in mind. So we start talking about, how to survive inflation. Kind of keep that in mind, guys. Just because you're doing okay now does not mean you're going to be doing okay later. Right. So that's why I want to get these tips. Again, that number one was budget-wise, second, increase income. And third, what I want to say is invest wisely. You can diversify your investments, spread your investment across different asset classes to reduce risk. And that being, situations like now, kind of look at your 401k, kind of look at your IRA, look at those things you have in place. We don't want industry shifts and changes to happen. Then next thing you know, you turn around and have your damn retirement portfolio gone in 2 or 3 years out front, right? You got to be kind of, think about it. Have those costs spread out. What I told guys, I had videos before in different kind of investments. Yeah, you want look at what's in the stocks, what's in bonds, but also those tangible assets, collectibles, different other items that maybe more tangible assets that you can say may increase. I ain't saying go ahead and get a certain real estate, certain things like that. But what you can afford is what you can afford.
Right.
But just be kind of smart about certain things, spread it, try to reduce that risk, spread it out. You can also go into inflation protected securities. You can consider inflation protected securities or I bonds that are designated to protect you against inflation. So if you got it now, it's going to be stuck there with some kind of rate attached to it. So you're not going to lose it if you buy that $100 bond. The worst can happen to you is nothing may not happen. But you're still not going to lose your $100.
Okay.
Right? So it's protected against it.
Okay.
Also, like I said, for those real assets, being real estate, commodities, other things that are tangible. Again, collectibles. Those things. You see those baseball cards, football cards. I was telling William the other day. You playing a video game. Like, man, I wish I'd have kept my little Nintendo.
Right. Those things are going for money.
Atari set, exactly. So, because those things are, can be cherished. Some of your old cards and stuff like that, coins and stuff, things that you might think would be junk that you would throw away in 2024. You still around 2040 something.
Right.
That's nostalgia.
Right.
Like your record players, and you buy a record collection. Right. So kind of keep that in mind, guys. Play the long game. But with certain things.
And don't ask me how I've come across this. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I've been watching the people buying storages lately, and how they've been buying these storages, and they calculating what the storage got in it as they taking the stuff out. And one guy, as you were talking about video game stuff, he was taking out video games. This guy had a thing full of video games and computers, right? Like old video games, PlayStations and all that stuff. And he was saying, he's like, all I need is the games. If the games are in here, we're talking $40, $50, $60 a game. And all the games in there, when he was finished, I think he had like $10,000. And he paid $400 for that storage unit.
See, the issue comes up, I'm going to be honest with you, to that point, is a lot of times people will say, well, if I get these games and the game may be worth $5 or $6 to that point, if you look big picture wise, I may have so many of these, but I got a couple of them. People want to, do like the 49ers did back in the day when they were mining back in San Francisco.
Right. Gold rush.
They want to strike it.
Right. Rich right
there. That's all, you tell people, hey, man, we're doing this, we're doing that. That's all. I remember when I first got my salon, I said, man, I'm paying around about $800-900 a month. That's all. Damn, I ain't doing shit. I get an extra $8,000-9,000 at the end of the year, maybe $10,000 at the end of the year to my bottom line. That's cool. I'm bringing that in after the suite, revenue from the suite, and everything. I'm playing that out, and I'm just breathing.
Right.
That's all. You like, damn, man, what are you doing? You just waking up.
That's hater talk. That's hater talk.
Some of my haters, a lot of it was just ignorance.
Right.
They didn't know, right? So those kind of things, people don't see that. LTA Radio, what's going on? Any incentives from the feds to help combat inflation? Any prediction? What we just said before, just those asset protected products. There are a lot of things, the tangible assets, those kind of things that affect, especially those I bonds, things like that. You can invest in those. You can get your CDs, things like that. Those things are available to a person that are available that the government has in place to protect it. But for the most part, man, you just got to be smart, be active, be very active, constantly looking at your portfolio. We're doing that. NVIDIA just had that 10-to-1 split last week.
Friday. The graphics card maker.
I think that's the leading AI company in the world. But just being active with just looking at certain things. Don't just put money in your 401k and then wait till the financial advisor come to your job and want to talk to you, look at it and everything. Don't do that, because what I always seen when I worked, not in corporate America, but when I was working at a warehouse before when I was in college, a lot of the old heads in there like, man, I got 100,000 in my 401k. It was good breaking on top. But in the market of 08, the market crashed.
401k gone.
Well, we see a grown man cry.
And you know what? I was talking to somebody, and I was around back then, but I was working. They was talking about how they had an opportunity to buy Google stock at 99 cents. And he was like, man, search engine. He said he wish he would have bought it. He said he could have easily bought 2,000 shares of Google stock for 99 cents back then.
You know,
in 1999.
Absolutely, hindsight the best side.
Right.
You know, but everything's going on right now. If you want to just, you know, again, you got to just be willing to take that risk. Do you really, are you built to put up money into something and like it looks worthless now?
Right.
So I mean, looking at it now, like I wish I had them, but most folks ain't gonna do that if it doesn't have any, you know, visible worth to it. LTA Radio says meaning fairs help the consumer with rebates, etc. Yeah, again, they go back to like, you know, again, they're gonna have each year, you know, other incentives like tax credits and things like that to help people, but for the most part, it's gonna be, you know, just your basic item, the products you can invest in. But they're gonna always look back and have different tax credits or even deductions or increase certain things like they did last year.
Right.
Where they waived all the penalties and fees for 20 and 21 for people because during that pandemic era. They all gonna try to do that, but just create stuff to do with. It's gonna be phenomenal with that. Also, meaning, do you predict? LTA Radio says, meaning, do you predict feds help consumers with rebates, refunds, etc.? Just the incentives they have during tax time. I think those kind of things are placed. Do I think we'll ever get to a point where we have stimulus checks and stuff like that again?
Nah.
I doubt it. It has to be something that really demands that. But I think for the most part, it's going to be just increasing tax cuts, tax credits, certain incentives, like they did last year, waive certain penalties and fees. Not necessarily infuse money into the economy because we don't necessarily need that, but more so to reduce the amount of money coming out of your pocket.
Right.
You know, those kind of things we're doing it. I appreciate that. That was a good comment. Got anything else on
Lion Layla says while people keep talking about voting for Trump again, he's not going to give no money. Slick says people have no patience for the long game. Like we were talking about stocks and stuff. They want it quick and right now. And yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about when we were talking about the gold rush, $49 gold rush. You know, a lot of people don't have patience. They do want the money right now. And any way they can get it quickly is it. You talking about working on it. A lot of people just don't want to work.
Well, okay, let me use myself for example. Got a house over there in Atlanta. I probably end up putting about 20 grand in that house. Probably put my 20 grand with a new roof, plumbing, and all this other kind of stuff. I know it's going to be 2.5 years.
To 3 before you get it back. For you to just break even. For you just even break even. Yeah. Not make money off of, break even on it.
Because again, that's why I think a lot of times people get twisted. Like, okay, cool, I get it fixed up now, I can rent it out for that. It's gonna be, you know, like I said, maybe that 3-year window, before I start seeing my ROI. But I'm playing the long game,
right? And then they don't add in the fact that even if you rent it for that year, if they don't re-rent and you got to rent it to somebody else, you don't know how much investment you have to put in that, you know what I'm saying, to rent it again. Yeah. Because there's always going to be investment once you rent the property to whoever you rent it to. You got to paint, even if it's just minimal stuff. You got to clean the carpet. You got to paint. You know what I'm saying? Clean it, get it cleaned up. Those are investments into the property that you got to get back.
It's our process here. And that's why a lot of times people don't really look at it in regards. We're talking about how to survive during inflation. Even though the ROI may take, I'm looking at 3 years, to your point, if something else, some kind of capital investment is needed, you got to add into it. Still, the thought process, the equity is increasing. So again, that's why you see so many people that would state that they're millionaires. They're really thousandaires in their pocket, or hundredaires in their pocket.
In their accounts,
so they may have a portfolio where, okay, cool, we have this. So again, if things get rough, they might shed some stuff out. Now, get it shed out, and now on paper's worth $1 million, but then when the time comes, you have a buyer to clear their debt out. Maybe not. You never know. But but theoretically, even though you have with the RI to come back, but hopefully the actual equity is increasing. So if something does happen, you need to share it out. You have it, but it's still going back to your bottom line. But that's the way you got to be thinking.
Right.
Deonte Radio asks, do you suspect presidential election will impact inflation any? I don't know. I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it immediately because but I don't know. Unless they come in with some kind of sweeping changes and stuff like that. I don't know. I think what people understand don't understand. The president ain't gonna come in and just change the damn rate.
Right.
And prices, these are one thing from an economic standpoint.
Right.
Now, other things that can be put in place. One thing I did say, I did notice that Trump did a lot of tariffs and taxes with them, with products that were imported in and everything like that. And it made it probably a little bit more attractive for people to be dealing locally than it is abroad.
But that creates other problems.
Exactly.
Because then you got things that are getting tariffed that you need to make things here that you don't make here. You get what I'm saying? Because we talked about this in a couple of shows a couple of years back. We are not a producing economy a lot of times. We are a consuming economy a lot of times or in most areas. So tariffs on stuff is great until I need that chip to get this computer running. And now I can't get it. And it's going to take me a certain amount of time. And now that I got tariffs on, the chip costs $8,000. Now the computer is $15,000. You get what I'm saying?
Well, that was Clinton that made NAFTA, right? Clinton made
NAFTA
93. So when we start talking about, just looking at it from a global economy standpoint, guys, you got to put in perspective. If it gets made in the U.S. for $5, but it gets made for $1 in China, like really and truly, it's kind of hard to really compete with that.
Right.
And we can say, well, from an internal standpoint, look, we want to get American made. And if you even impose the tariffs where that dollar that went to $3 that it cost, it's still a tough sale.
Right.
To pay more. And you might
people were talking about going electric.
Yeah.
People want to get away from foreign oil, but they don't want to buy electric cars.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? The EV market is tanking because for one, they're too expensive. But for two, nobody wants to drive an electric car, and they got to figure out how to get the distance longer and all that. But we don't need to be on foreign oil. Okay, well, let's buy some of these electric cars. Let's get the prices down on electric cars, and that's we can slowly pull away from that. No, I need a truck. I can't do that.
I think it's all in that kind of like that learning phase. And I do think by the time we hit 2035, something like that, you'll see the difference. We'll probably damn near totally electric with running certain things. I think we in a situation also where we're really not even driving our damn vehicles.
Right.
We're doing things that by that time, technology will subside where, to your point, the electric car, the prices went down because there's more of it. Technological advances have made it kind of like when flat screen TVs came out, right? Or even cell phone prices. As technological advances come, more people need it and stuff, the price goes down. So those kind of things will happen. But I think we're going to have to do that because, again, it's going to be too expensive to do certain stuff.
Right.
It's always going to be that little funky, rough phase when things first happen. Again, guys, we're talking about how to survive inflation. Give you guys some tips on how to survive.
Slick talking about getting solar panels.
I think solar panels. I think it's going to be a situation where people have to do some certain things thinking outside the box. Me and Will be, people like we planted that garden.
Right.
So when we looking at like, hey man, listen, we got these vegetables and stuff like that growing. Hey man, how can we come back? So that's why me and my young son decided to grow that garden.
Right.
Which is doing quite well, matter of fact.
Right.
My baby cucumbers coming in.
Okay.
So that's been pretty cool. Just with that, I see my peppers popping out. My tomatoes ain't came in. My rosemary has died. But pretty much a lot of stuff has just started coming in place. We're just thinking outside the box. We're getting certain things and stuff. So, you having that in place, just look, these are certain things that we can be doing. With people carpooling, and everything like that. Certain things that you have to do to survive.
Right.
You got to kind of just, something think outside the box. They may be a little uncomfortable for you to do it, but you got to be thinking again. When we start talking about inflation, guys, I want everybody to keep in mind where you are now does not mean that's what the hell you're gonna be at a year or two from now.
Right.
Because again, those prices are outside of your personal decision making, outside of your personal income making.
Right.
The price is the price. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And if your job is not
adjusting
in relation to the cost of living, or at the rate the cost of living is increasing, you be in a lot of turmoil, right? I mean, that's just being real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But again, that's why I want to give these tidbits in regards to help you with that. And so, guys, again, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, the call in number 678-740-9894. The fourth thing I want you guys to think about is just reducing debt. You pay off all your high interest rate debt, prior to rise, paying off credit card debt, another high interest loan that can reduce any kind of financial strain that you have. Or, make sure you're kind of looking at focusing on fixed rate loans where what you're paying is what you're paying. It's not fluctuating, anything like that. Offer fixed rate mortgages and loans to avoid increasing payments as inflation increases. Okay.
Let me ask you something about the credit card thing, real quick, and what you think. Just your opinion, not telling people, because you see all the time people say, take this credit card and pay off that credit card because the interest rate's lower. Would you do something like that? Like, say if you have a credit card where the interest rate on the credit card is 6%, but you have another credit card where the interest rate is 2%, and the amount of money you can get from it is a little bit higher. Like, say it's $10,000 on this one at 2%, and it's $8,000 on this one at 6%. Would you pay off the 6% card with the $10,000 card at 2% rate?
Well, it depends on how the math gonna work.
Okay.
Point. So to the last point, when I take, if I got a 6% card and I have available credit at 2%, what I do it? Absolutely.
Okay.
It makes sense. Compared off at 2%.
Okay.
The thing of it is, you want to make sure that's a no-brainer. Compared off saying that at a lower rate. The issue come up is what all you add to that 2%.
Right. If
I got a 6% card, a 15% card, 20% card, I'm gonna give you guys this, man. This thing called dinkytown.net. Dinkytown.net. It's a calculator website.
Okay. You
can go to find your debt reduction. I don't know if you can put it into the chat now, but on the StreamYard, dinky.net. Dinkytown.net. With Dinkytown.net against calculator website, they got all kind of different calculators. Finance.
What is that?
dinky.net. Dinkytown. I'm sorry. dinkytown.net. Dinkytown.net. It's got about 70 different calculators. But they have a debt reduction calculators on there. You can actually put in your current credit cards you currently have. If you want to get consolidated debt with another credit card at a certain rate or whatever, you can put it in, plug and play. And from that point, mathematically, you see if it makes sense or not.
Right.
Guys, remember what I'm saying to you. World at your fingertips. There's a lot of information technology out there we can calculate this. So you're not sitting there trying to figure it out, put it in there, plug and play, and they give you different options.
Right.
So it may be a good deal and everything. We're doing it. Paying off $10,000, 2% instead of 6%. Of course I do that.
Right.
But the average person is not going to necessarily have. They might have one at 6, they have a couple on, and then I don't necessarily know if it's always going to be a situation. Maybe I think more realistic if you got a consolidated debt at 8%. Okay. That may be a higher rate, but you can roll everything in once you look instead of coming out, where you're paying 15 or 20 this, that, and that. Now you come out maybe because monthly payments may be at $2,000. They can reduce the payments to $1,400. $1,400. Okay. The issue come over most times people consolidate that they go from $2,000 to $1,400. They're not being smart with that free $600 that they got. Okay. Then they might start doing some other stuff or acquire. So that $600 back up again. Exactly. Okay. So it's just about being smart with it. But go to dinkytown.net. Find your credit. There's tons of calculators on there. Find your debt reduction calculator. If you play that stuff in, you can find that stuff out. Okay? That's the thing. That's something I would advise anyone to do. Again, we're talking about how to survive during inflation. The next tip I want to give you guys is to adjust your saving strategy. High yield saving accounts. Look for saving accounts that offer high yield rates to keep up with inflation. Or short-term bonds. Consider short-term bond funds, which are less sensitive to interest rate changes. Because a lot of times, man, let's be real. If we know that inflation is going like this, so many people are sitting there trying to save money. Right now, look at my whole point with that is, if I'm paying credit card debt at 15%, and I'm surviving, like, okay, I'm paying my minimum payment, it's staying there. What the hell is the logic of me paying 15% debt, but I got a saving account at 1%, 2%?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? The math ain't math.
Right.
The math ain't math. Because the money, now again, you do need your emergency stash, side stash, and things like that. But at the end of the day, I'm saving at a rate that's lower than what I'm putting out.
Right, 14% lower.
Yeah, exactly. So big picture wise, the ground I feel like I'm gaining. I'm not really gaining.
Right.
Because I'm still on less than I'm saving. Now again, you might need an emergency fund to cover, some things that may happen or whatever. But big picture wise, it's probably not the wisest thing to do, because again, you're saving at a lower rate than what you're paying on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
The next one is control your costs. This is kind of like I think a lot of times people look at me. Control those costs, buy in bulk, purchase non-perishable items in bulk, save money. Go Sam's, go Costco. You know what I'm saying? When they got sales on meat at a grocery store, we'll get you a little bit more, put it in the freezer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's try to, get things that you're gonna be spend, every 2 or 3 months instead of monthly buying certain perishable stuff. Try to get some things in. Your fruit and vegetables, you can't do that.
Right.
But if you can just try to, from a bulk perspective, let me hit it hard this month. Maybe next month I don't necessarily, spend out money on groceries, but I, took advantage of the sale on certain stores. Try to get things in bulk because we know it's gonna be cheaper. Your money is your money,
right? But
at the end of the day, we got to be kind of forward thinking in regards to how we're going about this. What I say?
I hit the sale today at the Kroger. I didn't even know it was a sale. I went in there, got some stuff. The bill was like $109. That super sale or whatever, super something kicked in. That thing dropped down $89. Talk about happy.
You did it without even trying.
I ain't even try.
Without even trying. But you got to be kind of aware with that.
Right.
People laugh at some of my folks that, hey, I'm a coupon. What do they call it? Couponer?
Yeah.
And everything we're doing it. But again,
they smart though.
They can laugh.
We got a cousin that does it.
Hey man, get $200 or $300 worth of groceries and spend like
$50. Yeah.
We're doing it. I can't laugh. Let's keep in mind what I said. What you have coming in is what you have coming in. The world is something totally different.
Right.
So you got to kind of be thinking out the box before moving when we start looking at how am I going to combat inflation? How am I going to survive when we're doing this? To your point, what Bruce said about the solar panel, you can invest in energy efficiency. Invest in energy efficient appliances, reduce your utility bills. You ain't got it, you ain't got it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you have a washing machine using a fraction of the water, dishwasher using a fraction of the water, different light bulbs and stuff like that, those can be $100 at the end of the year, maybe $1,000 depending on how big your house is. That's y'all about $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 damn houses. We know more likely they're gonna have what? Two units. All the cost of keeping it is gonna be higher. So if you can keep that going with lower, utilities and lower costs and stuff like that, try to take advantage of that. DIY solution, perform home maintenance repairs yourself when possible. You know what I'm saying? I try to do a lot of things at my crib and everything. Now, I always draw that line. Well, okay, listen, I might mess it up, do this, but I try to do as much as I can.
Right. Got to know your limitations.
Yeah, I know my limitations. What I don't want to do is incur some cost because I broke some shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've been working on my toilet.
Right.
The past couple of weeks, and I'm like, Poochie, you've been laying in water and pee.
Right.
For about a week or so. You might want to let it go.
Trying to get it professional.
You got to do that, guys.
Right.
Another thing we want to do, is stay informed. Like I mentioned earlier, know the economic news. You can keep abreast of economic news and trends to anticipate changes to adjust your financial strategies accordingly. Also, get some kind of professional advice. You can't afford actually some kind of financial advice. Also, Mr. Short Dollar for free. There are 1,000 videos on the YouTube channel covering information. Just like what we're talking about now is right accessible. And there's other people that you can get into where you get people get wrong information in the process. Absolutely. But that's why you can do your due diligence to kind of say, okay, I can fact check.
Right.
With certain things. But
always fact check.
Try to stay informed and abreast of what's going on. Another key thing is consider your lifestyle. to the point we said before, you got to go on some of these cruises. You got to go on some of these trips.
Right.
You can downsize if possible. Certain things, like if you want to carpool so many times out the week, with another person that want the same location, you can do that.
Right.
Combine trips, combine
you need that
parties.
new car,
Exactly.
that bigger car. I mean, to be honest with you, like you know what? I said to myself, I wanted another car, but you know, I got that Versa. It probably cost me about $25, $30 to fill up, and my tag only cost me $20 a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, shoot, if I get something else, gonna cost me a little bit more. I don't know if I want to incur that cost.
You know, I try not to hurt folks' feelings, but you know, you see the folks in, you know, the $70,000-$80,000 cars, but you go in the cribs and you know this. I see cats all the time. You know, they got all kind of stuff, but this ain't trying to knock nobody. What you want is what you want.
Right.
But when you feel like, okay, I'm living a certain lifestyle, doing certain things, you know that shit a facade.
Right.
Like I said, when you what they say, it ain't tricking if you got it.
Right.
Well, most times you ain't got it, but you like to show, hey,
right.
You know. And again, we know when you actually live and check and things like that going, one bump, one sickness, one tragedy, whatever, you put your ass in a whirlwind.
Right.
Right. So again, you can assess that. I never try to get into people, you know, talking about what people do. You like showing your money, you like doing this, and like living good, make you feel good. Have at it. Right. But understand the consequences that come along with doing certain stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knocking you, but you know what you can and can't do, and you know what you are comfortable doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So let's just kind of start looking at when we start talking about, you know, consider your lifestyle. And lastly, guys, you know, go back to what we were talking about before. Try to get some kind of emergency fund. We were talking about how to survive during inflation. If you can't. We already did the math. It cost me to make it 10. It cost you 13 and stuff like that. Can you save? Right. More likely you can't. Right. But soon you can get to that point where it's, you know, it's costing you 13. If you can get to that 14 and 15, what are you doing with that extra 2? Are you reducing debt? Are you putting a certain one for debt, another for saving? You want to get in a position because again, things can happen. Right. Right. We know that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The one person I always give a crap because she's just different. But you know, Slick can squeeze blood out of a penny. She can stretch a penny, like real deal. I give a crap about it, but to be honest with you, she really can stretch that money. She knows how to save real well. Like I've never been a real saver. I always been. If I want to get it, I'm gonna get it. Just you know what I'm saying? Like I went to college. I work hard every day. It can't be just to pay bills and save money. I'm gonna get what I want to get. But I think a little bit different now because of the fact that she always thinking about how we're gonna do this, how we're gonna save that. We need to save for this, we need to do for that. And I need to start thinking like that.
But what's the smartest part about what you just said?
What?
You actually can also say, look, that's a strong suit she got, and I can use that as an asset.
Right.
As opposed to just saying that's how she is, and I ain't
right.
Like that. You know what you do. That's an asset. Right. So instead of me trying to combat you, let's work together. We just move with it. Right. Far too often people look at certain things, well, that's what you do, and I can't do this, I can't do that. It's nothing wrong being uncomfortable for a short period of time, or during a period of time, to make you very comfortable later on. Right. Or even just make where you damn livable. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. A lot of times, people in situations because of the decisions that they made, because they didn't want to be uncomfortable. Right? So you got to kind of be thinking about that. Listen, just the frustrating period I put myself in. I know big picture wise is to put you. There's a method to my madness. Right. There's a means to the end. So we got to understand that. Listen, you know, those decisions we make can help us big picture wise to be able to navigate. And I do think that implementing these strategies, you can better manage your finances and reduce the impact of inflation on your purchasing power. Because again, we know it's gonna go up. Right. You know, sooner than later. We know we're probably in a year of things still going up, right? Just try to be smart. Don't sit here and just say, well, man, rent high, this, that, and that. Go do something. Go do something. Because at the end of the day, we know the world is still going in this direction, and you still going in this direction, you're gonna have damn problems. Right. You need to figure that out. You're gonna do shit. You need to figure that part out. Exactly. And that's why you got shows like the Short Dollar and the channels where you can go by and take advantage of all the great information that's on the channel. to do that. And I ain't trying to trip, and I ain't trying to be condescending, but I do think a lot of times people do a lot more for themselves than they get themselves credit for. It's just when you start doing it, are you okay with being uncomfortable? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm used to living in this 4-bedroom.
Right.
But man, I might need to go to this one because it's more feasible.
Right.
I like my freedom and my peace. But do I need to get a roommate? Do I need to start what's the pass flip? What's the other one you stay in what's the damn
Airbnb?
Airbnb, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do I need I got all these damn rooms and nobody here,
Right.
man. Let me take advantage of that. Sometimes I think outside the box. You know what I'm saying, like
yeah, that rooming thing, I just discovered a lot of people. Some people do that. Like a friend of mine stays at a house. It's a big house now. This is a huge house with some people, and he there's like 4 or 5 other people that stay there, and plus the owners stay there, and they charge each one of them folks $250. I think it's $250 a week, or every $250 a week to stay there.
Yeah.
So you got 5 people paying $250 a week. That's $5,000 a month.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. And plus they still work. The owners still work.
Clearing that out.
Right.
And what they said, like, if that model works and they want to continue, great. If that model has worked for them to be going through a little temporary phase, good.
Right.
Don't get caught in so much of it now. Focus on where you're trying to be at.
Later on.
Because again, we know, like I said, inflation is just spiking prices. The prices are the prices. Your inflow that's coming in, you got opportunity to change that.
Right.
If
They talking about let us property manage your property.
I got you. But like, I really do want to, challenge people on that. That's why I want to have a conversation tonight in regards to how to survive during inflation. We got too much noticing of how things are getting high, how tough it is.
Right.
And not enough conversation on, okay, shit, how we're going to survive in it. Because it is what it is.
Right.
And what are you going to do about it? Okay?
Right.
Well, listen, guys, we had a good conversation tonight. I appreciate everybody tuned in. I hope it impacted you in a positive manner. And if you came in the middle of the show or, had a comment and out or whatever, feel free to go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Check out this video in its full entirety and check it out. Also, make sure you guys are going to Misfits Radio, Misfits TV. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, make sure you subscribe to Westside Misfits on Instagram. I will say this, guys. One big thing, man. Sometimes we think you have a rough day, a rough patch. Check out Misfits, Westside Misfits Instagram, and you realize shit, some folk got shit.
Right. And some people got something going on, don't they?
Appreciate it, Reek.
So my life ain't that bad.
Yeah. We gonna find it.
Right.
Oh yeah, go to Westside Mississippi.
Right.
Oh shit, let me
change your whole perspective.
Yeah, let me shut the hell up. But definitely, guys, I do think that, if you follow some of the tips that we talked about tonight, it can put you in a better place. But again, man, go to Mr. Short on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, take advantage of all the great information. All you female entrepreneurs out there, make sure you go check out that the grant we just posted for women in business. Easy grant for you to apply for. They don't care what industry you at. That's what caught me off guard. They don't care what industry that you're in. They don't care what phase. Startups are welcome as well. So go take advantage of grants for women on Mr. Short on YouTube. But also, man, most importantly, happy Father's Day to all you dads out there.
That's right.
It's I think I was talking to a buddy of mine. I was on the way here. I think it's 20-something ranked holiday.
Right.
We're the most bitched about it, complained about it, with everything. But I definitely think we will at least celebrate.
That most definitely.
So definitely, man, dads out there, man, pat yourself out and keep doing your thing. And also, man, guys, we're right at 29, I think 29.2.
Okay.
We want to try to get at 30,000 subscribers.
Let's get up to 30,000 in the next 3 months. Y'all can do it.
Shit, y'all, let's do it in the next month.
Man, okay, let's do it in the next month. I was trying to give y'all a little time to get it together.
If we average around about 200 subscribers a month. I was looking at the data earlier today. So if we can get about 800 people, man, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Right. Subscribe to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Take advantage of the information there. You know what I'm saying? Hit that bell to get a notification each time. So put yourself in a position so if new information come out and the grant come out, you be one of the first one to get it. So
that's right.
To the channel, hit the bell, get a notification each time a new one comes out. But definitely go there because you guys know I love helping you guys. I ain't selling shit, so just go there, take advantage of the great information there. But love you all. Be safe. Enjoy Father's Day, and I'll talk with you soon. Cut up, my boy.